with a very particular band, actually, in my heart and in metal in general, because we are with Cynic guys, with Paul and Sean. You may know these guys because Cynic is a very particular band, created a long time ago, and as the Phoenix, it's the band reformed. So we won't speak tonight about the reformation, your rebirth. But there is a great European tour, 14 dates, and then after 18 dates in the US, which is a cool summer tour for you.
Yeah, very cool.
So what is the link between this tour and the Retraced EP that was released maybe 6 months ago?
There's no link yet.
No link?
Not yet. Yeah. I mean, we're going to do a couple Retrace songs on the US tour. On this one we're just doing Wheels, but we were thinking if we do Retraced it'll probably be a special show, just for that EP and maybe something else or something, but it's this is more about coming back to Europe in the summer, and we're bringing focus back and stuff, so it's like both albums,
Mm-hmm. Because you reformed 3 years ago, and you were there 3 years ago, actually.
Yeah.
Maybe, and so I'd like to know about this very busy 3 years. Actually, it was maybe 3 years only touring, or what was your planning for 3 years?
Well, there's life. Well, life in general as you plan it, and life as it happens, and then there's life as a musician as you plan it, and life as it happens. I think we've just been lucky enough to be constantly working. Any kind of artistic, creative endeavor kind of takes 1,000% if you're going to do it right and see it through. And so if we weren't touring, we were taking care of business or writing or recording or figuring out a way to get half of our band that are Dutchmen into the US, and now they live here. I mean, lots of stuff. I mean, obviously this is our third summer in a row touring in Europe, and we've done 3 US tours. So it's been amazing for Cynic and Cynic fans. It's been pretty crazy.
Yeah, you told me it's unbelievable for fans, but also for you.
Of course,
such response about the fans.
Yeah.
And it seems, in your eyes, we can feel that, hey, 3 years after the reformation, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
pretty cool to see it happen.
You learn as you go that playing music is it's a privilege, It's a real privilege to be able to do what you want to do, and seeing it from both sides, both it not being accepted and not being able to do it, and being able to do it. So I think there's a tremendous amount of appreciation and not taking it for granted. Not that we did in the past, but hindsight is 20/20 vision, and it's definitely an honor and a privilege.
And you have the privilege also, to be on this label from Marseille. And I can remember when you were playing with Opus last time. You discovered the box for the previous album,
Oh,
you were there.
Time.
Yeah. You discovered that, and you say, "Hey, great man!"
Yeah.
And the guys also from the Dillinger Escape Plan. I was there also for the promotion of the last album, and they were also
seeing it for the first time.
Yeah. Wow, incredible!
That's cool. Yeah, they did a good job with that.
You still happy with this and the way they promote the band?
Yeah, I think Michael's a good guy. They're definitely good in Europe. I don't think there's such thing as a perfect record company, and I don't know if it's possible to ever say that. But it's been fine. It's workable.
I think they understand what kind of band we are, and that's as important as the $1 million record deal for us, to be able to have someone who gets it and to be able to have access to your people as well is really important, and to have 100% control over your creative decisions, especially for an act like us, is we have our hands in everything from the graphic design to the, to the lighting, to the, everything, artwork, song, so it's really nice to have people who understand that, and there's always growing pains with any relationship, they're extended family, and there's disagreements and agreements, and but I think overall picture Seasons has definitely been a good home for us.
Yeah. And to come back with Retraced, what was the idea about working again on the
Well, I think
song?
it was, ideally we would be making a new album, but we've been touring so much that we had this window between 2 US tours. We had a month off.
Only on months.
We had 1 month, and we thought, what can we do with this month? And, well, these songs have a very strong identity outside of the way people know them. Let's revisit this and see what happens. And it started out as an experiment, and it worked. And then we're like, okay, well, let's release it. Let's share this with them. So it was just kind of a way of being productive and using time, that we otherwise, you need a lot longer to make a record, obviously. So I think it was just a treat for us, too, to kind of show a different side of Cynic that people wouldn't maybe expect, It showed a different perspective.
And nice to give the fans something relatively new to listen to in the interim of releasing a record, because that process, from the start to finish is easily a year, from when it start writing to recording to album art delivered to it coming out and being in stores. And we're always of the opinion that it's you keep writing and keep if this is what you're doing, we will always want to continue to put out product, and it was a good way also to kind of show in a way where the songs kind of start from or come from. I don't want to say stripped down, because funny enough, to my ears, Retraced is more layered and crazy than Retraced in a way, But I think it definitely casts a different light on what is really there when you shake it all down into the bottom. And what's there's a song, with the melody and a harmony, and it can go here, or it can go here, and keep the Cynic fan getting new ears,
because we have waited for 15 years between both albums, so you may have new ideas actually on the new one.
Oh yeah, I think that we have plenty of material. It's now just shutting the world down and getting to work, and we have to stop touring to do that.
Is it hard to stop touring?
It's hard because we keep getting offers, and a lot of cool bands want to tour with us, and it's fun to tour, so I think it's one of those things where we're going to have to at some point say no, but it's gotten a good run, and we want to see Traced in Air get proper attention, and touring helps promote albums, so it's kind of the balance,
I think Retraced was also kind of a way to extend Traced in Air's life as well, because I still think there's a tremendous audience out there that maybe doesn't know about Traced in Air, seriously, and maybe this more kind of not of the metal norm sound might attract someone who is a Cynic fan that doesn't know it to our music, and and say, wow, and then, who knows, it's like the Faith No More thing. Like their record broke 3 years after it was recorded, right?
Yeah.
It became like their biggest record, and not that we're saying Traced in Air is everything, but I think there's still a life there, and it was kind of a way to creatively satisfy ourselves, be productive, put out another product, and remind people that there's still some new music out there.
What are the points on this new album? Is it of course natural evolution between both albums for the third album, but what will be the ideas, about musically, is it more metal, less metal?
I think it'll be more experimental.
Yeah.
And more cynic, if that makes sense. Like, because I don't know that we're, you know what I mean, like metal, prog, fusion, jazz, pop. I mean, like, just more of what we do and more a stronger kind of stamp of that sound, just refined and more liberated. So this is the beauty of Cynic, is that I don't know, putting it in a category and trying to box it is it never really works, And so I think it'll kind of keep going in this a more unique direction, and I don't know what that means, though, because until we start really recording, you know what I mean? It's
you never really know what it's going to sound like until you're really in it and in doing it and hearing it. So to kind of wax on what it would be is I would say it's somewhere in between Focus and Retraced.
I mean, at the end of the day, like, the songs have to be good. You got to have great songs, and that I know we won't be sacrificing. So whatever shape it takes production-wise is okay. It's as long as the songs are there, you can kind of do whatever you want, and that'll just be reflective of where we are when we're making it.
And it's going to be coming out of our bones. So there's always going to be that identifiable thing that makes whatever Cynic is Cynic.
Yeah.
And I think the other guys have that identity now and really have the ear for what it is that is, I guess, kind of intrinsic to
They
our
are
sound.
forged to Cynic.
Pretty much. And we've always joked about this, but before we even met Robin, we were just saying Timon was like literally put on this planet to play Cynic's music because he grew up listening to it and was on the forum and kind of very active, and it was literally kind of subconsciously molded to be kind of the perfect fill-in for Jason, and now and Robin too. So it's the four of us unite.
So we can expect an album for next year?
Yeah, we'll see. 2011.
Yeah, it'll probably be out in 2000.
Yeah,
probably the fall, I would imagine.
Yeah,
a long time ago. So
well, yeah, because we're really not going to get a chance to get into it until like early September, late August. So 4-5 months to write, record, and deliver the record.
That's
and then,
if we're not touring.
Yeah, and that's if we're not touring.
Because they're talking about another tour at the end of the year in Europe, but we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's the touring's fun, but it's also kind of a financial necessity as well. It's always great to be out playing because you're always exposing yourself, but it's one of those things that can buy you some time at home if you go out for a little while, so you can get into it.
And what about the lyrics? If you're still inspired by our common world, I was reading actually about always the cynic way of thought in ancient Greece, and what would they say about a common world ruled by banks and money?
Yeah.
It's very, I would say, cynic. It's
Yeah.
They would
about-
view this as the apocalypse, I'm sure, you know.
I don't know because I don't know if it's apocalypse, but
Greece self-imploded, didn't it? So
yeah.
I mean, it just seems like humans' nature generally is kind of doing this in circles.
Cycles.
Yeah, it just kind of happens. So I don't know. I see this ancient cynics as they were like yogis. You know, they were really all about happiness being inside, not
Yeah.
outside, and they were about disciplining the mind and all these things. So they were really cool, but they doubted the truth of people. You know, and this is where it got this spin that they were negative. You know, because he literally, Diogenes was somebody who had a lamp. You know, he did this metaphor of a lamp in daylight, and he said, "I'm trying to find an honest man." So it was some. But I think the truth of that is, you know, anybody who's on a spiritual path is trying to get more honest and real about who they are in reality, and so it was really a profound thing that he was doing, and it's kind of the eternal dilemma. You know, this is the thing that no matter what's happening externally, this is the kind of always going to be an issue as long as you're in a human body. And it's I don't know that we'll ever kind of everyone will be. I mean, the goal, I guess, is enlightened society, right, where everyone's awake and functioning at a certain state of consciousness. But I think we've got a ways to go before that happens.
I think the odds are stacked against.
So before the apocalypse, we want to see a new cynic.
See, that's the
album.
true cynic right there. It's
Okay.
like, I don't know.
Yes, you are, guys.
Prove it to me, you know.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I guess you stay positive but realistic. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all
Yes.
you can do.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
Thank you very much, guys.
Yeah.
And of course, we will see the concert tonight.
Oh, cool.
And so the concert's also at the end of the year, maybe.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we can't release who the co-touring would be with, but I think everybody's going to really enjoy
You got
it
ideas
if it works
about
out.
that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think people are
Which
going to be
band?
very happy.
Which
Yeah,
band?
we can.
Tell me on the idea. Okay. We will tell you. Okay, thank you guys.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And,
Cheers.
thanks for your kindness, as always. And stay metal, but stay cynical.
Yeah.
That's right. Cynical. Stay cynical.
Thank you, guys.
Right on.
Thank you.